Right, so I hate to start this one on a kind of downer, and that downer is why you're going to fail to learn to code. Now, I'm not trying to disparage you from coding. What I'm simply trying to do is show you the mistakes that I made and that I've seen a lot of other people make. And in particular, one very, very big mistake that a lot of people make, which is why they never actually get to be coders or create their own sort of software or apps or whatever it is that they're after. Right, so where am I coming from this? Or where am I coming from with this? I've taught over 100,000 people how to code using various languages, platforms, etc., some which are no longer around. And I've seen failure many, many times. And of course, I know that you don't want to be in the failure camp. But going by the numbers, only roughly, 10% of people actually complete 50% or more of my courses. And apparently, I'm above average when it comes to that completion figure when I talk to other instructors. Why? Why does that happen? Well, you might think it's, the obvious things. Maybe motivation is a problem. What else could be a problem? Well, we could say someone is lazy. We could say they procrastinate, i.e. they waste time. And there are lots of reasons why people procrastinate. Maybe they're just simply too busy. If you've got a family, you've got a wife or whatever it is, you need to work to support them, you can be too busy. And related to that, of course, maybe you've got low time, i.e. you don't have enough time to do stuff, and maybe you easily get distracted. But that kind of fits with procrastination in a way, distraction and procrastination. Okay, so you're probably feeling fairly down right now, but I'm going to make it better because I'm going to tell you my story. I've experienced all of these things: procrastination, busyness, low time, etc. Even when I wasn't employed, I had no time. And, well, you've got to wonder, how did that happen? Well, it's just part of being human, really. Sometimes these things happen and there's not much you can do about it unless you know where to look. And that's what I'm going to tell you now, so you don't fail like I used to fail, but then I got better. Right, so my story is I was learning how to code for years, bits and pieces here and there, and, some lines of code. I know how to do arithmetic and events and things and whatever it is. And you know what? I got absolutely nowhere. And what do I mean by nowhere? Well, I might have been learning bits and pieces, but, nothing came of it. The idea was to get employed or create my own stuff, create things for other people. Nothing happened. But then something changed one day, like they always do with us stupid humans. Something clicked and I said, well, I should make my own app that I'm going to actually publish. So I created an app and I published it on the iOS App Store, and it had a few users, sort of using it every day. It wasn't amazing. In fact, it crashed a lot. It was actually a music app that took me ages to program to get right because I didn't know bugger all. But you know what? I learned more about programming making this music app, this really rubbish music app, than probably in my whole period of learning to program prior to that. But you know what made everything even better? That was I rented. I know it's a bad word. It has other connotations. I rented myself out to make apps for other people. And the first app was actually related to the one that I made. It was a music recording app. So I kind of knew what I was doing, but not really. And the guy paid me £200. That's about 270 US dollars, I guess, in order to have a demonstration app. So I did that. I thought it was rubbish, but he thought it was amazing. There's a little lesson there that whatever you think's rubbish, one man's trash is another man's gold. Let's put it that way. After that, we carried on with that project. I made it a bit better for £400. He took that to an investor, someone who, hands out money for businesses to start. That investor gave him another £1,200, which went to me so I could improve the app. And then from there, roughly in the end, we spent £8,000 on my labor. Now, my hourly rate was quite low because I was still learning, so it took a long time to do stuff. But I think I had the right attitude. And in that time, because you're waiting for a paycheck, and the paycheck is related to your output. So trust me, you learn a lot when you're doing it this way, and you learn much faster. The motivation is right there. The motivation to have enough money to buy food. Okay, and then where did I go from there? Well, this is the final bit that I'm actually going to stop on so I don't bore you guys too much. And where I went from there was I created an app. I'm not allowed to say because I was under a non-disclosure contract. But this app served 200,000 people daily in the UK and was expanding into other territories. And I recreated the whole thing from scratch. Now, how much programming I learned here is just, I can't even explain how much I learned. And considering it was just me, there was a lot to learn. And for this, I created an app. I created a server. And that was in PHP and MySQL. So I was creating a database. And this is sort of before the days when we had these servers, or backend as a service, as we call them. They're called backend as a service, BaaS. So you can look that up if you like. And that app provided me with roughly £10,000 to £20,000 in the year, or the year and a half that I was creating it, because I was kind of on a royalty share agreement with the guy. Right, so coming back to you and your potential future problems. What is the big secret that you need to know so you won't learn to fail, or you won't fail to learn? Well, I've just been talking about it. The big secret is to create a project. You need a project to work on. And whether this comes from yourself or a paying customer, it doesn't really matter. Although I prefer the customer model because, one, I like to get paid to learn, and two, it motivates you much more than your own project, because if you're your own boss, then you can just kind of skip stuff and it doesn't really matter. Whereas if someone's paying, trust me, if something goes wrong, they will let you know about it. So that is the big secret. In order to learn how to become an effective programmer and to learn much faster than you would, you need to be creating projects. Do you want to win prizes with your newfound knowledge? If yes, then simply head over to iamdev.net/episode 6 and take the free 2-minute test based on this episode. If you pass, then you'll earn dev points, which can be redeemed for real products on our website. So to claim your points now, go to iamdev.net/episode 6.